Okay, guys, so we are back again for another stocks by request. And what I've noticed is a lot of you guys want this long form type of content where we go into a deep dive and talk more about the company. And since I posted a video of Dito just, I think, 2 days ago, a lot of you had a lot of good feedback about it. Then there were a lot of things that I did not cover. Then some of you had some questions, and we're going to try to tackle all of that. I tried to pick some, but I know there are some questions that I was not able to accommodate. So if you'd like more of that, put that in the comment section and I'll try to make more. But I'll try to explain a lot also in this video. So I hope that this would help you and give you as much insight as possible. So this is what we have in store for today's podcast. But before that, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Marvin Germo, and I'm a stock market trader and investor. And I've been in the markets for more than a decade now. And the goal and the heart of why I create videos like this is basically I just want you guys to have enough information as possible to make decisions on your own. So at the end of the day, guys, whatever I say here, do not buy or do not sell just because it gets spoken here or just because we tackle it here. This is just for you to have information. So I really hope that after this, it sparks a lot of interest so that you get to analyze and study it on your own. So if there are things here that appeal to you, still study. Don't just buy it just because it gets spoken. If there are things also that, eto yung sinabi niya, pero eto yung analysis ko, then stick to your analysis because the greatest way for you to make money is to have the right principles and foundation and to stick with your own conviction. But if you want to have daily content about investing, about the stock market, that how you can use this asset class to help you grow your money over the long term. We're not talking about get rich quick here. It's about the right process, the right rudiments on how to learn the market. Subscribe and smash that bell so you get updated every time I come up with new content about the market and about investing. Now, this is what we will talk about for today. It's the same as the last video, 2 pages again, yung table of content. So I don't know how long will this be. The last video was around 40 plus minutes, and I got a lot of good feedback that a lot of you finished it, stayed till the end, and enjoyed it. So I'm trying to make this as insightful as possible, and I'm trying to make a combination of some vlog type videos, some podcast like videos, and some like this. It's purely it is almost like a webinar already, but instead of making it a webinar and charging, just wanted to just give it to you guys in YouTube. So it's just fun to be able to give as much content as possible to people. So this is what we will talk about, and a lot of people sent this, particularly the first item, the 40 billion pesos authorized capital stock for Dito, which was a disclosure at some point months ago. Then it got discussed also again this June, which is happening in the next few weeks already. And then number two, a lot of people are asking, is Dito really speculation? With it having a lot of things that we do know already, like it's a third telco. We do know that there are some rules and regulations that may help them. Is it still speculation? Or is it something that we could already get as something that's tangible? Then number three, should you buy when the price is low? Because there have been a lot of questions that look at where PLDT is right now, plus 1,000 pesos. Look at where Globe is right now, plus 2,000 pesos. That if Dito does it well, it should be around that level also. So is this the best time that it's low, that it's below 5 pesos, it's below 10 pesos? Will it go to that level? Is it that price lang ba kailangan natin tingnan, or are there other factors that people must also look at in order for us to be able to see that, hey, it's actually not just low, but it's also cheap? And that's what we're going to talk about. I really do hope that this is not boring, no, kasi there will be a lot of parts here na may mga formulas. And for those who are not too familiar with this formulas, baka you might get dragged. And if you guys don't get it, I'll try to make another video for that, the more basic ones. That's why I don't do, in the past, I've been doing more technicals because I really believe technicals is easier to understand. But this is a deep diver talking about more and more items about the company, and similar to what we did with the Jollibee video, with the Mary Mart video. Then we talked about Wirecard. Expect more of this moving forward. I'm actually having fun. And if there's one thing that I'll share to all of you, don't just invest because habol nyo pera. Invest because also it's something that you like. It's something that you love. It's something that every time, every waking moment of your life, nag-enjoy kayo. Because if you find something that you enjoy, if you find something that you love, you will never work a single day in your life. So that's the third point. Number 4, will Dito be a blue chip company? So we're gonna talk more about that also later. And then number 5, everyone's favorite, the technical analysis of the stock. So yung mga nag-charts, baka gusto, ay, sayang, sana inuna na lang yung technical analysis. But I really believe that this is needful also. When I did the video with the Ayala Corporation CFO, TG Limcauco, he said something that struck me, that one of the things that he likes about the channel is that we don't just talk about technicals, but we also talk about fundamentals. Because at the end of the day, the primary difference of the stock market versus trading commodities and trading Forex is there is a business behind that 3-letter word, or that 3-letter ticker, or the 2-letter ticker, that 1-letter ticker. There is something behind it, and that something behind it is something that you can study. Then we're gonna recap everything. So, yun. Comment below if you're excited. Comment if you want to go into this deep dive with me. But for those, by the way, who did not see the first video, it's already posted. It's just 3 videos prior to this. We talked. The title is 25 Things You Need to Know About Dito Stock, and then after that, you can also watch everyone's favorite now is Salve's video. And dami nagko-comment, I want Salve. So you can watch that. And dami, a lot of different topics, no? Dividends, then MP2, then Wirecard, BPI, BDO, then 5 stock market tips and Jollibee analysis, then Rex Mendoza, everyone's favorite, then MM. But just for those who did not watch the first video, this is what we tackled in that video: the real winners. What do you need to know? Dito's key metrics, Cell Tower 101. What could help Dito to make more money? Could they beat Globe and Smart long-term? Is it a long-term investing play? What does the chart say? Then the recap. That's what we talked about on the previous video. But anyways, let's start. So this is remember the first point that I placed, 40 billion authorized stock. What I did is I derived it from questions that you guys sent out. So put it in, especially this one. This is coming out in YouTube. If there's anything that I did not tackle here, just put it in the comment section. Then we're gonna tackle it. If I could create another video, then or in Facebook, but primarily please comment in YouTube because I read the YouTube comments more. And I hope you appreciate this format kasi ang hirap nito gawin. This is not as easy as the normal. It's just like doing a real seminar, but just for YouTube na. So Dexter Course is asking, good day. How will the market react for the additional issuance of authorized capital stock? Based on experience with other PSEI stock, thank you. And then almost the same question, but I bunched them together already since they're asking about the authorized capital stock. Sir Marvin, question po, at sana maisama nyo to sa video nyo. Ayan, kasama na. Ano po ba magiging stock price niya kung sakaling na-approve yung 40 billion shares niya? Possible bang bumaba or tumaas yung stock price niya? At meron bang kayong idea kung ilan na naging percentage ng public float nila at ilan percentage sa China? Tell you then na holding at sa mga private placement. Salamat. A couple of things first before I answer the question. Please do note this. In the stock market, there's what you call price and value. Ito, price, ito yung gumagalaw araw-araw. Yung value, ito talaga kung ano yung company. Ito talaga kung sino talaga siya. So, majority of what we will talk about is primarily based kung sino talaga yung company. The price movement is pretty much driven by supply and demand. And supply and demand is pretty much driven by news. And news is pretty much driven by emotions. And it's hard to decide or to decipher how people will react. So, if you want to at least have a sense of how people will react in all of this, that's why I use charts, because charts give me a sense of market psychology. But to guess how people are reacting to this initially, I think that's something that's hard to guess and grasp. So it's either you do 3 things. Either number 1, you focus on the price, meaning you learn a lot about technicals, or you focus on the value, you learn a lot about fundamentals, valuation, the economy. Or number three, you know how to marry both. You know how to marry both fundamentals and technicals, which I believe is very, very powerful. Since this is relatively taped as live, I just need to drink water also because I know this will be a very, very long video. But let's continue. So this questions on the two questions spring forth from this. Okay, and I like to highlight item number 6, the approval of amendments of the Articles of Incorporation for the following matters. By the way, this is available in the PSE website. So yun yung advantage when you invest in the stock market. Everything, all of the information that I'm showing here is disclosed, is available everywhere. Company website, PSE, Edge, brokerage. Anyways, so to increase the authorized capital stock of the corporation from 2.8 billion to 40 billion pesos, divided into 40 billion common shares. So please take note of this because a big chunk of this entire discussion will revolve around this. So what I want you to know first, based on this, is 2.8 billion common shares, 2.8 billion pesos, and it will be increased to 40 billion. And then after that, when they increase it to 40 billion pesos, there will be 40 billion common shares. So we get to have a deep dive now, especially for people who want to know more about this. Before we go into numbers, you need to know also what authorized capital stock is. So what is an authorized capital stock? To make it as simple, you can search this also right after this video, but the simplest way for me to be able to cascade this to all of you is this. It's the maximum number of shares of a corporation. It's the number of shares that they can legally put out or issue for everyone. Ano na yan? It's already mixed, everything, the ones in the market, the ones outside of the market. But just remember, it's the cap, it's the maximum, it's the number of shares that is allowable that could be issued. So when they're saying this, what they're actually saying is the authorized capital, it's a multiplied. If you multiply all of the shares that they have, it should equal around 40 billion pesos initially. Anyways, so what to illustrate this further, and I hope you get this. I try to think of different ways for this to be illustrated in a way that a lot of people will understand, because it's one thing that I know it, but it's another thing to be able to cascade it to all of you. So while I'm sharing this, please, if this is something that's helping you, I want to know if the analogy is easy to understand, because if it's not so easy, I'll try to make another video and I'll try to laymanize it as possible. So what they're doing is it's an increase in capital stock from 2 billion pesos to 40 billion. So I want you to imagine this. Imagine a pizza. I don't know what time zone of the world are you watching, because what I do know is 50% of people who watch me are not from the Philippines also. So if you're watching from overseas, then there's a big chance that you might be watching either lunch or dinner or breakfast whenever this is playing. But try to imagine a pizza. And here's what I want to show you. Imagine that pizza has 10 slices, even though in as a picture is not, I don't think it's 10 slices, it's 8 slices. But imagine a pizza with 10 slices. Then imagine, out of the 10 slices of pizza, sino sa inyo nagugutom na? Ako, I just had pizza for lunch and dinner. Kaya ito siguro example ko, no? Sino sa inyo out of the 10 slices of pizza, you own 1 slice. So, again, 1 pizza, pie, 10 slices, you own 1 slice. So, what essentially is happening here is, out of that 10 slices, you own 10%. You own 10% of the pizza because you own 1 slice, and 1 slice is 10% of the other slices that are there. Now, remember what I said a while ago. Increase capital stock from 2.8 billion pesos to 40 billion. And please remember what I'm doing here. I'm showing you a template already and a logic, because there will be other companies also in the future that will do this. And there will be other scenarios that will be like this. But the principles will always be the same, regardless if it's 1 billion to 10 billion, 5 billion to 48 billion, 7 billion to 21 billion. The principles will always be the same. So please don't just remember the examples. Don't just remember the numbers. Don't get this as me giving you fish. Get the logic, the principle, so that next time mangyari ito ulit, alam niyo na. Okay, and yun. And I hope that malaking natulong ng site na to sa inyo. So what essentially happens is, from 2.8 billion magiging 40 billion pesos siya. This is how it would look. From just 1 pizza, you are adding 9 more pizzas. Try to imagine it. From one pizza, you are adding 9 more. So comment below, 9 plus 1 equals, that's not a trick question. Comment it below. 9 plus 1 equals 10. So you now have 10 pizzas. The thing about that is, please remember, each pizza has 10 slices. You have 10 pizzas, 10 slices each. 10 times 10 equals, comment below. Ano sagot? Ano sagot? That's not a trick question. You get around 100. All right? So I hope you're getting this. Now, as you start to analyze it, 10 pizzas, bunch them all up together, 100 total slices, pero ikaw, you only have one slice to begin with. You only have one slice out of the 100 slices. So, what does that mean? Initially, before the capital was increased from 2.8 billion to 40 billion, or from 10 slices to 100 slices, when it was 10 slices, you own 10%. But now, since there's an infusion of money, aka slices, suddenly what happens is, instead of just having 10%, you dropped your percentage of ownerships in the total pizza to just 1%. So what I'm trying to get at here is basically this. The 2.8 billion to 40 billion increase in authorized capital means that if you own shares, currently own shares, you are a shareholder, it means increasing the authorized stock will dilute your ownership. You still, don't get me wrong, if you own one slice, you still own one slice. If you own 100 shares, you still own 100 shares. Nothing will change. Nothing will change. You still own 100 shares. You still own one pizza. Same thing. Everything is the same. Pizza analogy, you have one pizza. You have 100 shares, you still have 100 shares. But it's just that may na-infuse na pera, your percentage in the pie becomes smaller. It becomes diluted. So you don't own 10% anymore, you just own 1%. And I'll reiterate it, if you are a current shareholder, that means your percentage in the company becomes smaller. It does not change the way the company would do business. Meaning, for example, Pure Gold ka or Ayala Land ka, it doesn't mean that if there's an additional authorized stock, the company will sell more, or Pure Gold will have more customers. It doesn't really reflect on how it will increase their sales, it will increase their income. It's more on the structure of the ownership that you have. So again, it does not change also. It just does not change. For example, you have 30 stores. It doesn't change that. Oh, yeah, I'll have more stores already. Not necessarily. But I hope you're getting this. I hope you're getting the logic. But just to put it from another perspective, also, infusing more cash means that they have more money to use, more money to play with. Remember what I said at the start, or the first video, that China Telecom has 150 billion pesos in store, ready to go, right smack, that they can use for capital expenditures. So, anyways, so that's what it is. So, just to continue, I hope you're learning. I hope that analogy was good. Pinag-isipan ko talaga, what's the best way to convey this to people that are not financial people, or that have not been in the market for quite some time. So there. Anyways, comment if it was helpful. If it's not, Marvin, do another example again. I'll make another video. So, yon. Anyways, Urgin Peñalosa. Considered pa rin bang speculation yung mga nangyayari kay dito, kahit alam na natin sila na yung third telco? Tuloy-tuloy yung roll out at setup ng cell sites. Meron support from the government, lalo na sa DICT, at may tower sharing policy na. Also, meron malaking budget to spend. Would you know also if how much kinikita ng mga telco annually? Kailan ba dapat pumasok sa isang stock? Kapag mahal na ang presyo or mura pa lang, meron ng future to grow as compared to sa isang convenience store na nagkalat na sa buong Pilipinas. So, I think I segmented this into 3 possible answers. But let's go with the first part first. Is dito considered speculation given all of these scenarios that Urgent Peñalosa have said? Thank you so much, Urgent. No, I like questions like this, because feeling ko, if you're asking this, there's also a group of people, a set of people that may have these questions as well. And that's why I like asking questions from people, because I really believe that there's no wrong question. Uh, that's why a lot of people, they don't ask because either nahiya or something. But feel free to ask, and I'll try to create as much content for you guys. Anyways, let's get first, before the word speculation kasi has been thrown out as something that's negative kaga, it's something that's not so good. But let's look at the definition of what speculation is. So of course, it's a noun. Okay. Anyways, speculation is the act of guessing possible answers to a question without having enough information to be certain. And then may mga examples na nakalagay ito. Rumors that the CEO is retiring, speculation about the news that led to the speculation about the possible further departures among the senior executive team, speculation that the fourth quarter GDP could be revised, etc. So let's go back to the definition. Guessing of possible answers to a question without having enough information to be certain. And si Urgin raised a lot of very, very valid points and amazing points. These are his amazing points. Number one, Ito is a third player. There's no question about that. That's not speculation anymore. Number two, it's also not speculation that sell sites are being made. And if you watch the other video that I posted, during the lockdown, they were considered essential personnel, similar to the frontliners, that while this lockdown was happening, they had their shot to build the cell sites that were needed. Number three, yes, he's pretty much correct. They have the government support, especially that this current administration is pushing for the third telco. Number four, policies that are helping them. All of these are happening in front of our very eyes. Tower sharing, you could use the same number even if magpalit ka, then 150 billion pesos from China Telecom. That's correct. If you look at the definition, we're not anymore guessing with this. However, when we invest in the stock market, it's just like you, especially majority of the people that are asking here, they wanted to invest for the long term, because the question is, what will Dito become later on when all of this is said and done? Now, you always look at it from a perspective na nag-invest ka ng business. Meaning, if may friend ako na nag-alok sa akin ng show my business, tama naman, tatanungin ko, may mga kalaban ka ba? Are you the third? Ikaw lang ba yung pangatlong nagbebenta ng siomai? Kung tatlo lang kayo, oy, mas maganda to kasi konti lang yung choices. Tapos, are you building the infrastructure? Is the government helping you? Meron ka bang capital? Those are all good questions. But, if you invest, those are not the only questions that you ask. Those are not the only questions. There's a lot of things. And I'm going to show, I think, 6 or 7 questions that I think are needful, but they're not the only questions that need to be asked. But there's more. But I think this 7 alone, we don't have yet the answers as of today. So, totoo that there are some parts for Dito that are no longer speculation because we already have the answers for it. But in some aspects and in some ways, we don't also have the answers for some of it as well. Here are some. Number one, we don't know what will be their market share. When they start operating commercially, when they start getting clients, will they get 2% of the market? Will they get 40%? Will they get 80%? Will it be 33 split between Globe Smart and Dito Telecoms? We don't know that yet. Remember the definition. Guessing possible answers to a question without having information. We don't have that yet. That's why when I said it in the first video that it's still too early. We need still viable information on what will happen. Is it true that you can invest already based on the current information? Pwede. So if they get a large market share, more than expected, then I think the price will do much better than where it is right now. But if they don't do well compared to what's also expected, or what people think or what investors think that they could do, the price might even go lower. So that's the risk lang of speculation. So that's one question. I hope this is helping. I try to think of as much questions also that will add as much value and content to all of you. Number 2 is this. We also don't know what will be their price point. I mean, for example, for this type of bandwidth or gigabytes, what's the price? what are the inclusions? If I get this, do I get this much text or I get this much calls? What's the package that they will include? What's the focus? Will it be prepaid or will it be postpaid? How much will they be catering it to high data plans like what the postpaid plans of Globes are, or are they gonna focus on prepaid to what the bread and butter of Smart is? So we don't know that yet. Will it be around 500? Will it be around 1,000? Will it be around 2,000? Will it be around 3,000? And what are the inclusions of that? Because after seeing those things, at least we can have a semblance already what type of market they're trying to also get. But based on their price point, based on the branding, based on the inclusions that they will get already. I hope that this is helping you. Number three, uh, and this is so important. For kung may nag-alok sa akin ng maging partner sa Show My Business niya, una kong tatanong, magkano benta mo? And that's something we don't have yet eh. We don't have information on how much sales they have yet because they're not yet operating. So again, I go back to the definition. It's guessing possible answers to a question without having enough information. It's a bit speculation still right now because uh, we could have a guess that they will get market share, but we don't know how much. Eh. And since we don't know how much, it could be 50 billion, it could be 5 billion, it could be 100 million, it could be 30 billion. We don't know. So that's something that's still unknown. And anything that we're doing at this point, especially that they haven't operated yet, is still us making an educated guess. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not saying you can't make money from it. A lot of people make money also from speculation. But ako personally, it's not my style. That's why I love fundamentals and technicals, because it allows me to buy and sell, to trade the things that I see, not the things that I don't see. And if I mentioned about sales, even more important is how profitable will they be? Meaning, it's one point that may pumapasok na pera, pero kumikita nga ba yung negosyo? Are they making money based on the taxes that they're paying, based on the expenses that they have? And I've said this in the previous videos that malaki capital expenditures yan eh. That they will spend a lot of money in their first years that I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how long will it take before they become profitable. So I'm not too sure about that. So one thing that I know is if they're spending 80 billion for 1 year, let's just assume 80 billion, that means for them to have a net income, they must get sales of more than 80 billion, for sure. So as of this point in time, as of June 25, 2020, the date that this video is being made, we don't have that yet. So number 5, and this is pretty much connected to number 4. How long will it take before they become profitable? Because if they become profitable after 6 months, then that's fast. Then they might beat a lot of expectations and the stock will just rally. But what if it takes them 3 years? What if it takes them 8 years? What if it takes them 5 years? Or if it becomes a long grind up against Globe and PLDT? So I don't know. There's still a lot of variables. I'm not too sure how, when they start operating by March, how will Globe and PLDT market everything well that somehow, some way, they could still compete head to head to whatever price point that Tito will be. So I honestly don't know. So that's number 5. Number 6. How long will it take before they get to set up enough cell towers? So there was a good point. Hindi ko lang na-post na dito, but if they just focus on a smaller set first, and remember what I said, that it takes one tower to have 1,000 people. If they have 600 towers right now, you multiply that, they could service around 600,000 people. If it's a small concentrated area, they could possibly give good speeds based on the current cell sites that they have. But I'm sure they have targets on how much cell sites that they want to have. There's tower sharing, but they're still making towers in whatever areas that they're placing it already. So how long will it take, given, again, as what I've mentioned in the previous video, 8 months to be able to finish it, given all of the permits and the current setup that we have? So if they do it faster, then I think that's favorable for the stock price. Meaning, if people are thinking that they'll be able to do 2,000 by this time, but they do 2,500 or they do 2,000 6 months in advance, then those who speculated today, jackpot for them. But for those who if they don't get that number and they get a lower number or it takes longer, then the speculation for today might not pan out so well. So there, I hope you got this. So those are just six, no, but there are more. If you guys have other things that you think that's not yet clear right now, please put them in the comment section, and that could also be considered speculation. So the biggest difference between you relying on speculation and not speculation is basically this: not speculation is there's already data that we can already see right now. Speculating is we don't know what will happen yet, but we are betting on a particular outcome. The scary part of betting in a particular outcome could be if it goes your way, do you make money? If it doesn't go your way, then you can lose a lot of money. So it looks like, in my perspective, parang ano na rin siya, may pagkasugal na rin. And ako, that's not my style. So I'm okay not buying it at the lowest possible price. Kasi my style ever since is never to buy a stock at the lowest possible price or the cheapest possible price or at the bottom. I'm okay in an area where if it's technicals where a reversal is happening or a bounce from support is happening and it's not at its lowest possible price when you're looking at it from that perspective. Or in that context also, when the valuations start to make sense, meaning I have some fundamental parameters in valuation that tell me that, hey, okay na to. These are my signals ready for me to start to come in. So there. Now, Urgin, dami mong questions, but I hope you're learning. Para sa'yo talaga to. Nasa na tayo? His next question is this. Would you know magkano kinikita ng telco? Kailan ba dapat pumasok sa isang stock kapag mahal na yung presyo or mura? The answer to that is, syempre, papasok kapag mura. But please do note this. It does not mean that the stock price is low, that it's cheap. There are some stocks that their stock prices are higher, but they're considered cheap looking at valuation models. In the same way, also, there are some stocks that are massively low in price, but they are expensive. For those who watch the Mary Mart videos, we've mentioned it that even at 1 peso, even when it hit 1.5, 2.25, all the way up to 4, valuations wise, it was already expensive. Anyways, let's continue. So to answer the next question, magkano ba kinikita ng mga telco? This is dito, no? This is its net income for the past years. But if you'd like to factor lang yung recent ones, because that's where ISM, please remember dito used to be ISM. All right. So for the past years, they've been losing money. For 2018, they lost 6.83 million. And from their last annual report, you can see it here at the bottom portion, 2019, they had a net loss of 34 million pesos. So I repeat, 2018, ISM, dito lost 6.83 million. 2019, dito lost 34 million. So I just zoomed it in here. Dito lost 34.9 million pesos in 2019. So yun lang yung no, looking at the numbers, it's not as rosy yet, and understandable that negative yung kita nila because they really haven't started any operations yet. They really haven't started. They're gonna start their testing pa lang of all their facilities by July 8th. And please do write that down because that is one key event that you have to watch out for. Then second one is when they start commercial operations next year. Please write that down. Then third one is when they start disclosing earnings from that. So if they start March, most likely what you will watch out for is the second quarter earnings, which will be August 2021. So you have two options. Either you stay away now, wait until the earnings come out, so at least you have something concrete, or you jump the gun and you come in now believing that by August 2021, their earnings will be very, very good. But another thing that I like to point out, and I said this on the first video, I'm just going to show 4 slides from that video, that I believe people are buying dito right now not because they lost money, but because of the hope of what it could be, of the expectation of what it could be. And these are some of them. These are, remember, 25 things you need to know about dito. I mentioned it. That China is pumping in money. And uh, I think they could, kasi other telcos spend a lot of money also, 70, 80 billion a year. So if you're roughly making a benchmark of 80 billion a year na capital expenditures, this is 2 years. If they don't get a lot of sales yet, that means China Telecom would have to add more into this. But if kumalalim yung bulsa ng China, they will be able to support whatever's happening to dito. So I think that's what's giving people the confidence to start to come in. And even if they speculate right now, since malalim yung bulsa, may pang salo, kung kailangan pa ng pera, may pupunutin. Another thing is, again, laws that are helping them out, the shared cell site policy, cell tower policy, and the switching of the numbers, that you don't have to, you can switch telco carriers without changing your numbers. I think that's one of the things that people are already thinking forward, looking that will help accelerate Dito's earnings. And I mentioned this also. It's a Dennis Oy play. It's similar to Ed Garcia. You buy Mary Mart because of the expectation that Inchapsia is a very, very good entrepreneur, that he had the track record with Mang Inasal, then he had a track record with Double Dragon. And the same way, people are banking on this because it's Dennis Uy, his experience with Phoenix, and then his experience with Chelsea, his experience with the other logistic companies that he's buying, that he's also buying different companies here and there. Then if you add everything to the mix also, he's pretty much now in good graces also with the current government. So a lot of people are banking on that since he's at the helm, he has a track record of trying to earn this, and this. He could steer also the company properly. So you have China, the expertise of China Telecom, and the money of China Telecom, policies, Dennis Uy, and I think one of the things that some investors who are speculating right now are thinking that, and they okay, and everything will go well, because there might be some people who really don't like their current providers, that when there's a third option, a lot of them will just shift right off the bat, regardless of the speed or regardless of the price. Basta maka-transfer, they will transfer. Now that's the I guess ideology or the speculation right there, that if a lot of people switch, a lot of people transfer, and it happens at a massive rate, then it will deeply help Tito. Of course, if a lot of people switch, especially postpaid users, there's a lot of margins in postpaid. It will help them make more money, so something like that. So here are the four underlying conditions. Again, 150 billion. Just to summarize it: money from China, loss, Dennis Uy, and people jumping. I hope you're learning. I hope you really are. Then balik tayo kay Urgin. So magkano ba kinikita ng mga telco annually? So I showed you already what Dito is. This is the sales of both PLDT and Globe. And again, guys, these are all available online. What's interesting about the markets is that, I guess, yung edge ko is because I've been doing this for more than 10 years already. I already know what numbers to look for, how to analyze it, what are the key things that I need to know, and then that generally dun sa mga nagsa-start, mga ngapa kayo. But ano lang yan, what I want to share, it just takes you doing it over and over to gain that. Because like this, when you were starting out investing, hindi nyo pa memorize yung stock codes that you had to look at a reference. Ano nga ba yung stock code ng Metrobank? MBT. Ano nga ba stock code ng ng Ayala Land? Ali. But as you start doing it, as you start typing it, it becomes second nature. And ganun din dito, as you start progressing in your journey as a stock investor, the skills will develop it. That's why I keep telling people, you don't have to rush. Wag magmadali when you start investing. You better try to take the time to learn first. You better try to take the time to build on your skill, because it's that competence, it's that skill that's gonna help you make money. If inuna nyo kagad kumita ng pera, and that's where the downfall will be. A lot of people chase money first, and if you chase money first without the skill, without the experience, without the acumen, mawawala siya eh. So start small and build it from there. Now, this is PLDT sales. If you look at it from 2015, 171 billion, 165 billion, 158 billion, 162 billion. Last year, 169 billion. For Globe, it's been increasing. 120 billion, 126 billion, 135 billion, 151 billion, 166 billion. But both of them, 2019, had sales at least above 165 billion pesos. So if you want to have at least a benchmark, okay, a benchmark na, for example, ano lang, benchmark on if dito will have 33% of the market, and let's assume walang growth, na naglipatan lang sila, hindi na lumaki, you add that by 2, 160 plus 160, that's around, uh, tanggalin natin yung butal, 320 billion pesos. Then divide that by 3, as in literal na 33% each. They should have around 100 billion in sales, something like that. Now let's look at the net income. I mentioned that Dito lost money for 2019. PLDT made around 22 billion, 22.5 billion, while Globe made 22.27 billion. So, ganun din, assuming that there's no growth, they stay at the same, and then ano lang siya, zero sum, divided by 3, roughly for Dito to have at least 33% share, they should have at least 15 billion, 14 to 15 billion in net income to be able to have a one-third share of the market. So something like that. So I hope that you can do your own tweakings from it, no. But I just want to, I just want to make a deep dive further, and this will entail more fundamental analysis. But let me know, no, for those who I guess attended the Stock Smart sessions and for those who read the books that I have, some of these formulas may be easy for you to understand. But for those who do not know it yet, I suggest after this, I have some videos on fundamental analysis. You can just go to that playlist, or you can do further research on your own. So I want to know if at the current price of Dito, assuming that paglabas nila ng 40 billion na shares, the authorized, remember that I said, please remember the 45 billion shares na ilalabas nila. Pagkalabas nila nun, and then it stays at the current price, how much income should they have for it to be at least at par with Globe and PLDT? So anyways, let's go to the deep dive. This is the PE ratio of Globe and PLDT. TTM means trailing 12 months. For those who attended our Stock Smart sessions and read the books, this is easy for you. But for those who don't, please do research and please do study the context of this. I assume that you stayed up until this part is alam yung sabihin na to. Anyways, so for Globe, the PE ratio is at 12.77. For PLDT, it's 11.84. Then what I did was, since there's, as of now, sila lang yung market sa Pilipinas, I got the average. So the average PE ratio of the telco companies here in the Philippines, the industry, is 12.3 times, 12.3x. So anyways, let's continue. Comment below if you're getting this. Now, the stock price of Dito, as of today, as of the time that I'm filming this video, is 3.44 pesos. So, for those who know the formula of PE ratio, you can manipulate na may konting algebra lang. May konting algebra lang to. PE, price, divided by earnings per share. Pag in-algebra mo siya, earnings per share goes here, PE ratio goes here, gets, and then price divided by PE ratio, something like that, you should get this. Okay, tama ba? Yeah, I hope tama yung pagkaano ko, but yeah, you're supposed to get 0.2797. Anyways, I'll try to compute para sure ako na tama yung ano ko, no, baka mamaya. I just want to make sure since this is live na rin. So it's 3.44 divided by 12.3. Yes, correct. Okay, anyways. So 27.97, it's interesting kasi pag naka-Excel siya lahat versus you compute it manually. So our EPS is 0.2797. Depending on if you round off or you use the whole, I rounded up na, no, yung sa 97, I think 6 yan, and then I just rounded up, but it's 0.2797, that's the EPS. Anyways, let's continue. I hope you have your Excel sheets or you have at least a pen and paper and you're computing this also with me. Now, this is the formula for earnings per share. The formula for earnings per share is net income minus preferred dividends divided by the end of period common shares outstanding. I'll just drink water. If you have water with you, sabay-sabay tayo, ng water. We're running 30 minutes na, no? So 30 minutes spontaneous talk. It's hard then, but it's just fun. So this is the formula for earnings per share. The company let's assume wala siyang preferred dividends. As of now pa naman wala sila, tsaka walang preferred stock eh. What they mentioned was around 40 billion shares of common stock. So walang preferred dividends. So the formula is earnings per share minus equals net income divided by end of period common shares. Pag inalgebra mo yan, what you could get is to find out what the net income of dito should be, given that it's using an earnings per share based on the current PE ratio of Globe and PLDT multiplied by the common shares outstanding, dapat para at least at par at the current price, eto dapat yung income niya. So, ganyan siya lalabas. Net income multiplied by the EPS. The EPS we already computed right here. And then the common shares outstanding. Remember at the start, I said that when they raise the authorized stock capital to 40 billion pesos, the shares will become 40 billion shares. So when you multiply that together, it's gonna be like this. So I already have that, pero sige, na-compute. I wanted to compute sana, gagawin ko yung calculator para cool, but wag na lang. So 0.2797 multiplied by 40 billion, it's gonna come out to around 11.2 billion pesos. So at the current price, the assumption I'm making some assumptions here that when they increase it to maintain its current price, the income should be, when they start making money, should be around 11.2 billion pesos for 29. That's for 2020. That's based on where we are today. So 11.2 billion pesos. So bantayan nyo, will they be able to get 11.2? That's one. Number two, check also August next year. Magkano ba yung kikitain nila? If they get 6 billion of net income August 2021 just for the second quarter of 2021, that means, whoa, that means that they'll exceed this. That means they're exceeding expectations. That means that they might get a higher net income kasi yung first quarter nila mataas na kagad yung net income nila. So they might even do much better, especially leading to December. So you can watch that. But if they get, say, second quarter will just be 500 million, they're not doing good in terms of what they're earning. If they lose money also, then it might be even a longer grind. Remember what I said, since they haven't operated yet, there's no price point yet, there's no commercial operations yet, there's no sales yet. All of this is relatively harder to determine, but this is just me giving you at least some benchmarks now if you want to at least have a parameter on how you can analyze it. I hope this helps you. So there. So just to compare again, PLDT 22 billion, Globe 22 billion, we could assume that if we use the PE ratio of the average of PLDT and Globe, and then multiply it with the EPS, we should get this using the common shares that they did when they increased it. I hope you got this. I hope hindi dumugo ilong nyo. But kung dumugo ilong nyo, comment dumugo ilong ko. But there. Next. Si Dan Francisco is asking, if possible, dito become blue chip after 5 to 10 years. My honest answer with that is this. I do not have a crystal ball. I do not know. Where will Dito be 10 years from now? Even if you ask me, where will Pure Gold be 10 years from now? Where will Ayala Land be 10 years from now? Where will Manila Water be 10 years from now? You can look at the numbers, pero it's hard to know what their sales is. You can make projections from their sales, from their growth rate. Yun pa nga eh. If you have companies that have, kunyari, may dividend sila, may growth yung EPS nila, you can make projections, but it doesn't mean they will hit those projections also. But it becomes harder for Dito because as of now, we don't have any historical track record yet. It's literally like you're investing in a new company, and you are betting on that if it does well, you buying it at a low price will commensurate for the risk that you took, which is good also. That's why it's very, very important that I hope that this video just gives you information, but ultimately it will be your conviction that will help you to decide. Do not buy just because I say it. Do not also not buy just because I say because I say it also. Because if you buy it at a very, very low price and then it becomes 1,000 pesos, but you're the one who took the risk today, then that means that your conviction carried you through when everyone else did not want to do it. But the flip side also there is, if it takes a long time before it becomes something, baka sayang na natulog yung pera also. That's one way to look at it. Kasi what I could possibly do is, if I'm an investor, I could position first on companies that I know are doing well, are earning well, and then once I see signs that hey, it's already doing better, that's when I start transferring. My mentality and my psychology is I don't have to be the first to enter. I'm okay not buying it at the lowest possible price because I I have certain parameters na okay naman na ako sa pwede kong pag-positionan, and I'll just follow that through and through. But as what I've mentioned, if you want to follow the price progression of it, that's where we go with our last part, the technicals. So if you want to know where could it be from the range, from the candlestick, and from the trend, that's where technicals will help you. And but for me, that means that you are trading. You are coming into this with the expectation that when it hits a particular area to sell, you're gonna take profits. You're gonna get out. But also when it hits a particular area to buy, you buy. Anyways, this is the stock price as of the closing today, 3.44 pesos. I really need to drink. Sorry, but I need to drink. I think I've been going on for almost 40 minutes na, and it's tiring, walang cut. Anyways, so this is the movement of Dito. What we do know as of this video is it has dropped already. You can see stochastics showing you downward crosses. But while that's happening, also you have three red candlesticks showing you retracement. But the overall upward movement is still intact. If you would draw a trend line there, that would still be intact. You have an underlying support at the 2.85 level, which also meets with the 20-day moving average, and you have the stock price still above the 50-day, which confirms that it's still pretty much, as of today, still relatively bullish. And if you remember this from the previous video, this is Dito zoomed out. I plotted this in the previous video that this is the breakout point. It tried to hit this, it broke out. Ano ba ngayon? Wednesday, no? So the breakout happened last Friday. Then Monday, red candle, it still stayed above. Yesterday, red candle, but it now dipped and broke that support line. Then today, further confirmation that it went below the support line. And again, this was the next resistance that I plotted out. So it still reinforces this, that there's a support that we have at the 2.85 level for Dito. So I repeat, if it does not go back, so if you could put this as resistance 1, resistance 2, support 1, if it does not go back above resistance 1, there's a possibility that Dito will retrace and go to support number 1, which is at the 2.85 level. So that's where we are from a support and resistance perspective. So if you notice it, no, iba yung perspective also if you are trading using technical analysis. For technicals, we're not looking so much about what the company is. We're not looking so much about the business model, the debt, the income, ganyan. Everything is based on the price movement, and technicals answers the when. That's why I love technicals also, because it teaches me entry and exit. Now, from a trend perspective, I mentioned this in the previous video that it escaped from the downtrend. And even though bumagsak siya for 3 days, this particular counter trend for it to push up and the reversal is still pretty much intact. So meaning, as long as this uptrend will hold, and as long as it goes down, but it bounces from the trend line, it bounces from the 2.85 level, goes above the 4 peso level, you will see it still progress in an uptrend. And if you're a trend follower, even though that there's sell days, red days, you don't have to panic and actually sell. So that's a technique, no. If you don't want to follow the fundamentals, you don't want to follow what it is right now. I hope that you base also your decisions on technicals. And if you're following this channel, you know me, my style is pretty much either fundamentals or technicals. I'm not a big fan of guessing, because totoo, you can make money when you guess, you can make money when you speculate, but it's not something you can replicate. It's not something that I could build a template on. And the whole goal for us taking the time to study here is so that you can build something that you can replicate. You build something that you can do over and over. So there. I hope you guys got a lot from this. And just to recap, 40 billion authorized capital will dilute the positions, will dilute the shareholders that are there currently. Is Dito speculation? there are some portions that we have that's not anymore speculation, but there are some that we still have to speculate on what it could be. Should you buy when the price is low? It's not just about buying it low. There has to be a firm notion on its valuations and its growth. And then will Dito be a blue chip company? I don't know. It's still too early to tell. They could, but they also could not be. Number five, technical analysis. The uptrend is still intact. Quick trading. It broke below the support. It's currently retracing. I hope you guys got a lot from this. I hope you guys are learning. If you are learning, I think we're way past again the 40-minute mark. But if you are, I'd like to know also if you like this format again, and comment if you stayed up until this point by just saying I stayed. And if you like this so much and you believe this helps people, appreciate it if you could like, subscribe, and hit the bell and share this to more people, because we just really want to. That's why I never tire of making videos like this, because. I'm doing this also for legacy, that I want 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now that we'd see more and more Filipinos become profitable. We'd see more and more Filipinos that the stock market is something that's talked about a lot. It's something that's common because our generation, we made it happen. That we are the generation that uh, hindi lang tayo nakiki-TikTok, hindi lang tayo nakiki-Netflix, hindi lang tayo nag-enjoy, but we are the generation that does Rex flicks, or we are the generation that tries to learn, and we are the generation who that tries to grab a hold of their finances, that tries to think about financial freedom. And I don't really, I'm not doing this to be a stock guru, because that's never my intention. I just want to be the one that helps a lot of lives. I just want to be the one that gives as much information to people as possible. And because that's the whole context of this. The stock market has been an amazing investment for me over the past decade, and ayun, I just hope more people see it the right way, and I just hope that more people get whatever tools that I know, and it gets imparted to you from this YouTube. So that's it for now. For those who want to grab copies of my books, Technicals, Fundamentals, and the Basics of the Market, they're in the links below. You can click the Shopee link. Then we have a Tagalog stock market course with Chinkitan. It's called Stock Market for Everyone. Then we have an English course on business and entrepreneurship with Sean Si. It's called Make Money, Grow Money. They're all in the links below. For those who want to invest in US markets, we have a link there. Just click the link. It's with eToro. Click that. It will lead you to invest and buy Facebook stock, Amazon stock, Google stock. Then for those who want to support this channel, I have a Patreon account. For those who are asking some of my gears and the stuff that I use for trading, like the VPNs and the virus scanners, all of them are in the description below. And yeah, that's it for now. What's the biggest takeaway from this? Did this cause you to buy more of Dito? Did this cause you to sell Dito? Did this cause you to avoid Dito? What did this help you with? I want to know what your thoughts are. And there, if you have any more questions, just put them in the comment section, and then I'll try to make more videos off of that. But this is Marvin Germo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you all.